back, everybody. I owe the community an apology. I have not had time in the past couple of weeks with work. We're doing a lot of state testing. I'm trying to get my testing out the way so I don't have to do it anymore, and I got about 9 cadets left. So today we're talking about this big, beautiful bastard, the Zeus. And we're adding it to battle reports and unit list building. So I'm giving you a little bit of everything in one nice, long, digestible video with breaks in between. That way you can go get snacks, come back, and skip around to the parts you want to talk about. So recently, my baby sister from my other dad, who plays Battletech, has moved back to the area. And I wanted to put all of her Nimbus Prime videos together in a battle report series. I'm just going to do it in one long hit. We're going to talk about each battle. We're going to talk about the list I brought to each battle and how it's kind of a narrative campaign for me. Now, keep in mind that I'm running a Federated Commonwealth pre-Civil War RCT, which had access to the Zeus ZEU-9S2. My commander of the Garrison will be running the Zeus ZEU-9S2, as well as there'll be a Fafnir, a couple other things, Civil War-ish, before the breakup of the Federated Commonwealth. Now, keep in mind, she's just getting back into Alpha Strike. She is Chaos Incarnate. No, she does not think in straight lines. But I also wanted to discuss how a lot of the players who fought me locally and regionally and around the city may or may not like my tactics. And that's fair. I don't think in symmetrical warfare. Growing up as an Air Force kid and discussing tactics, mobility, firepower, applications of firepower, reading Sun Tzu, The Art of War, as well as other many, many, many sci-fi and real-life battle books, discussions, not including movies, but just straight tactics and warfare, including how the Mongols, the samurai, the Turks, and so many other people fought. I like to incorporate those thought process into my tactics. Now, if you remember the video, and I'm going to post the link, the trucks, technicals, civilian-based vehicles loaded up with a weapon system. Yeah, I'm all for it. Using strategies that no one else wants to be bothered with. Yeah, I'm up for it. And what I've done is that I've broken away from mech on mech into warfare on unsuspecting forces on a regular basis. And I'm not ashamed of it. I think it's quite hilarious when you show up with a lopsided force, meaning that I'm at such a disadvantage in weight class, structure, armor, that I have to run, scatter, and hide and drag out fights. Versus what I've been doing with my Nimbus Primes is showing up with armor. No one likes tanks. Ontoses, challengers, demolishers. Pick something. If all warfare is symmetrical, we would all have the same weapons. Not everyone has the same skill set. Watch my Call of Duty videos. I hover around in Garrison like nobody's business. But we'll get back to that as we continue on with the activities of this video. So sit back and enjoy. Welcome back to Mecha Madness. All right, the Zeus 9S2 is an upgraded to 9S. Why is it one of my favorite snipers in Alpha Strike? It's cost efficient for the damage. At 61 points for a skill 2 Zeus 9S2. Let me just show you the card itself. Let's do that first. So the Zeus 9S2 is a monster of firepower. It has 2 LM15s, an ER, large laser, and a Gauss rifle. In classic Battletech, once it runs out of ammo, it's pretty useless, which effectively is 16 turns of combat, or 8 with the LRMs because not enough ammo. So my love-hate relationship with it in Alpha Strike is It does the job better than most other mechs that are heavier, bigger, wider, or have a long range attack. So, wanted to show you the screen. 3051, it is good on with the Federated Commonwealth, which I'm building a mercenary unit with, that are going to be X-Liners and Xtavians, and it's good all the way up until the Dark Ages when it goes extinct. Now, for Alpha Strike rules, what we're looking at, all the benefits. Case won't explode instantly. IF2, LM122. So if you have a mission with alternate ammunitions, you can swap out. If you are running a skill 2 and you don't move, it's 2 plus range plus target mod because you're not moving and your indirect fire cancel out. So you can get a lot of great indirect shots under 9 or 10, depending on your target. Heck, if it's in medium range, even better. Now, direct fire is tricky. It cannot survive combined fire. Even from any units that are doing 1 or 2 points, 2 or 3 turns will whittle you down to dead. So effectively, I wanted to showcase the Zeus 9S2 before we jump into the Nimbus Prime series. Why? My group, we cannot commit to a campaign because we have multiple games we play. We play Warhammer 40K, Grim Dark Future. They've played several games of boarding actions. Used to be called Space Hulk, but basically it's all the short boarding action games that GW's recently put out. Then we play classic BattleTech. I mostly champion Alpha Strike, and then zombies and a whole bunch of other pickup games. So when I'm trying to build an effective continuing campaign, I'm mostly doing it for myself. The way that this started off is that I have a core group of 2 companies of mechs that are defending a codename planet Nimbus Prime. Nimbus Prime is not the actual name, it is the cover story name to not infringe on canon universe. Now, this is in support of my baby sister who came back to playing Alpha Strike and Battletech, moving back home, as well as getting her dad in emotional playing Battletech again as he's retired. So they're playing their mercenary unit, the Armageddon Starblades, which are basically kicking my teeth in. I'm playing my, we haven't officially launched a Merc unit yet, force that's garrisoning Nimbus Prime. The goal of the Armageddon Starblades is to push me off the city and out of the way so they can occupy the facility. They have a long contract. I'm just assigned. So my main officer pilots the Zeus 9S2, and I use the Zeus 9S2 as my sniper cleanup sweep team. Oh, I need 5 points of damage. Bang. I need to shoot up a light mat. Bang. I need to shoot up a hetzer. Bang. I need to shoot up a unit that has less than 5 left. Bang, bang, bang. And that's the Zeus's job. Oh, you think you got away. Indirect fire 2, indirect fire 2, and forces my opponents to react. Now, as I said in the previous section, I don't believe in symmetrical warfare. Battletech is too diverse and rich a universe to always do max on max. Granted, that's how we got started, and tanks, armor, vehicles, infantry, proto-mechs, all of those things came out later. But I've really been obsessed with lately with asymmetrical warfare based on movies, books, and different conversations I had online of how warfare has been happening, not only in real life, but in all the other various universes of sci-fi and fantasy. Why do I say this? In a 350 point game, I want a guaranteed killer. I don't want to, I can easily run quantity over quality and hope that the dice gods forgive me for wasting their time. Or I can sink 61 points and continuously crack someone with a 50, actually 60-40 chance of hitting, connecting, and crippling something per turn, especially when tournaments are 5 to 6 turn game limits. I'm trying to put as much damage out versus as much waiting out and getting things accomplished. So the Zeus 9S2 is my go-to. With that being said, the first battle, I'm going to go over the list and then we can talk about what has happened. So the first battle in the video is effectively the landing party. They're trying to secure the LZ, but I'm unaware that they have a backup LZ already secured, so they've already landed their ship. And my job basically was to deter them from staying. And deter might be a strong word, but hey. So let me get my first group out and switch to screen sharing, going back to screen sharing. So we've already covered the Zeus ZEU-9S2. Let's cover the list. So a inexpensive 3058, 3060 Garrison force. Starting off, 4 Hetzers in the SRM variant. I didn't run any Infernos of special ammunition. I have 2 Typhoon Urban Assault vehicles, Antos 3053 upgrade, and a Challenger X MBT main battle tank. So going over, Hetzers are there just for continuous cheap firepower at 18 points apiece. I'm running veteran crews on the Typhoons because 6 damage that hits can easily clean out a light mech, and 2 Typhoons can clean out most XL-based heavy mechs. The Antos, same function. Challenger is a little different. It has an anti-missile system flak for helicopters because my group now loves helicopters, as well as a turret so it can split fire between targets. The flatbed trucks, technicals. If I'm defending a plant in the middle of the FedCom Civil War and I don't have a lot of mechs or real armor, yeah, a desperate commander would rig up some technicals. They're dirt cheap. It's one cheap weapon system, no one cares. But let's talk about the mechs that we have. So this is the Lyran side of the force, my personal campaign that abandoned the Federated Suns, as well as the Lyran Commonwealth. We have a Zeus ZEU-9S2, a Fafnir, basic, salvaged Phoenix Operator Star League, and a Spider 9M. Everyone can get one. So the way the battle goes is that I'm trying to use my cannon fodder units, which are mostly my vehicles, and preserve my mechs until the end of the game. Did I accomplish the objective? Yes. Did I have vehicles survive? Yes. Which vehicles survived? The trucks. Why? Because my opponent doubled down on all my big tanks and my Hetzers as threats. But I was being attacked by 2 mercenary forces at 500 points apiece, and I managed to pull out a win. So with that, enjoy the battle report, and then we'll double back later. So let me stop the share here. The MVP for the game was the Zeus, as well as the heavy vehicles. Battle tanks? Yeah. Cheaper than a mech, hurts just as hard as a mech, hits just as hard as anything else, and clean stuff out. Of course I was bringing the Zeus ZEU-9S2 as the cleanup guy. The Fafnir was supposed to be the other cleanup guy. Did that happen? As in the great words of the combat philosopher, no plan survives contact with who? The enemy. Catch you in 5. Welcome back. So here is the setup of Nimbus Prime. We're in the industrial sector on my side of the table. As you see, the orange building, the Whataburger, orange and white, Mitsubishi logo, a couple other buildings. As we move into the commercial district surrounding, there's 2 corporate towers, helipads on top. We have a large cargo container, and then we have the other orange and green chemical tank, a small little garage, and some others. The red and white tower and the orange and white tower are gorgeous for what they are. Now, my forces, the Crucius Lancers, 4 Hetzers, 2 Typhoons, and a whole bunch of hardware. Armageddon Star Blades are ready to wreak some damage. They're well stacked. Last but not least are the Chaos Dancers. So this was a 1v1v1 three-way battle. Going into deployment, I'm going to slow down here. The Star Blades are pointed directly at me. They're not really worried about the Chaos Dancers. I have my forces kind of looking both ways just to be on the safe side. Chaos Dancers, we don't know. Chaos Dancers quietly came out turn one, popped a couple shots down the way, mostly ignored me. Armageddon Star Blades layered everything they could, indirect fire into me as they had four sprint helicopters. Four ferrets, as well as Chaos Dancers. Archer, Stalker, and everything over here was hesitant to come out and just straight play with us. I moved up to hold my open barrier. And yeah, that's an Ontos Challenger X battle tank, two Typhoons, and I had four trucks. And for Hetzers, the Zeus ZEU-9S2 as always, but I was mainly looking between everyone. Turn two, the Chaos Dancers started shooting shots my way, but they were also looking at the Armageddon Star Blades. I put out as many long range shots as I could. My two Typhoons murdered his Marauder in one go, but the rest of his forces killed one of the Typhoons outright. It was a hard thing to watch. Spider and the Phoenix Hawk are moving across the flank. The goal is to get behind the enemy and snatch up their objectives. Starblades again are 50-50 hesitant, 50-50 pushing forward. Chaos Dancers are going back and forth, not sure which direction they wanted. Turn 3 had me looking down the street. The other Typhoon was lost in a shooting phase. However, we pounded everyone that came up the street. Ontos and a Challenger were moving in a position. Hetzers were getting pounded as they were taking shots. We cracked everyone we could, and we managed to clip two of the helicopters from both sides. Spider dipped back, not trying to get shot in the face. Phoenix Hawk leaned out to take a pop shot and connected. Chaos Dancers came straight for me, but then turned around and diverted back. Turn 4, we were getting ready to lose ground. The Fenrir stepped out and got pounded. Red across all boards, crit movement, crit heat, crit engine, crit fire control, crit weapon hit. Phoenix Hawk managed to shoot the Shadow Hawk in the back. Chaos Dancers were staring at me and indirect firing at me, getting ready to lose a lot of equipment. The Hetzers were getting pounded to death. I think I have one left at this point. Now, the goal was to take objectives. The Phoenix Hawk suffered a movement hit and was barely hanging on. Again, the Zeus was coming out to deal with some damage. We managed to murder the Zeus. Not the Zeus, but the Archer and another heavy mech. Chaos Dancers took light damage. I didn't really have the firepower left to focus on two forces. I was sandwiched in the middle. But I did manage to snatch two buildings. Fenrir is holding on for dear life. There's not much left of him. But I did manage to score two buildings with my forces pushing out the Armageddon Star Blades, which retreated after massive losses. Then I turned around and threw my ferrets on two objectives so I could try to hold up the win. The win con was as many objectives held. Chaos Dancers contested one of mine, so I won based off of this objective, the objective in the bottom right corner, and these two over here. I couldn't hold my own, but we'll get into the analysis bit in a moment. The Armageddon Star Blades are forced to be reckoned with for the simple fact that they hit hard. I'm looking at a Battlemaster, Gunslinger, Archer, Thunderbolt, two catapults, and a bunch of other forces. The next company came out swinging, and I had less material than I did before. Luckily, the Zeus was easier to keep up and going, but I kind of switched up my forces for this battle, reflecting losses in my campaign team. This game was just as rough as the first game. even with only facing one enemy force. All right, this is deployment and beginning of the game. So this match was a mirror match again, where it's mercenary forces defending what they have to defend, coming out with the horrifying firepower of the Armageddon Starblades. They came with two heavy lances comprised of assault, heavy, medium mechs. There was one Locust, but I'm running 4 Hunter Light 3454 upgrades, Penetrator, my Zeus, two different Challengers, two different tanks, um, Bushwhackers with a Penetrator, and I have two Peregrines. This force is primarily kitted for overwhelming fire support. However, the dice gods weren't with me every turn of the game. Going into turn two, you can get a better look out of the force. The Zeus and the Penetrator, the two Bushwhackers. I only have 4 mechs. Then the 4 Hunters are holding their posts in the back. This was a flanking mission where the Armageddon Starblades tried to come in from a different sector to get the jump on us. As you recognize some of the buildings, this is another alternate side of the map area for the campaign. However, the Battlemaster got pounded a lot turn one. Anything that came around the corner the wrong way got pounded. The Bushwhackers were trying to take some pop shots and got harassed, but the Peregrines were relatively unscathed going around the corner. As you're looking at it, Peregrines had a great line of sight shooting down. My spotter ferret was giving us great line of sight to targets. However, the dice weren't just hitting at all. Going into turn three, as we slowly come over, Penetrator and the Zeus are pounding out whoever comes in the line of sight. The Demolishers and the Challengers were just looking for targets. We ended up beating up on a Thunderbolt pretty bad. Didn't get the Shadowhawk at all. Assassin, Grand Dragon, and the Archer were swinging around. The 2 catapults in the back were trying to offer some fire support for the team. Gunslinger took shots at the Peregrines as it comes into focus, and the Awesome came out to play. We could not hit the Awesome with anything direct fire. The Awesome did murder one of the Bushwhackers, so the other one flanked off to run away and hide. Now, Penetrator and Zeus lean out to the left flank, as well as the 2 Demolishers. One Challenger got a crew stunned. We cracked that Thunderbolt and the Shadowhawk to death. Peregrines whiffed at the Assassin. Awesome flanked back. We were trying to throw some missiles at it indirect. Couldn't hit, couldn't connect. But that was the theme of this game. My dice can't hit. They can't miss. But looking at the juicy target straight in a row, my tanks pushed forward to demolish the forces. It was beginning to look like a rout for either side, but we'll let you figure that out for yourself in a moment. Again, Zeus ZEU-9S2 as a sniper is your house cleaner. Alright, coming into this, the Hunters didn't get touched the whole game. Zeus kept his position, Penetrator flanked out. Both left of the tanks pushed forward. And then we just started cleaning out house. Notice that the Grand Dragon and the Shadowhawk and the Thunderbolt are gone. Battlemaster was on his way. The Awesome was next. The Gunslinger was doing the best that it could. However, at this point, it was mainly about control. My opponent had picked up his remaining dead. Zeus didn't move, cracked a shot, and then we just laid out all the way down the street. Penetrator went out. Grand Dragon was crippled. Bushwhacker shot. Gunslinger hit. Peregrines were trying to finish off who they could. The Armageddon Starblades are just not winning. Again, this is a campaign-based thing that I'm doing on Monday nights. My Zeus ZEU-9S2 character, MVP at skill 2, 4 kills in this match. Armageddon Starblades were once again repulsed. We'll see what they do next Monday.